Welcome to another deep dive. We're going to be exploring some pretty complex...
big questions.
Big questions, yeah.
Yeah.
So today, we're going to be taking a look at a conversation between Yuval Noah Harari and
Luis Carlos Garcia Sandoval.
Luis Carlos Garcia Sandoval. I always want to say that name correctly.
Right.
And they're both thinkers who are really thinking about...
Grappling with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The future of humanity.
The future of humanity. Yeah. And what's really striking to me is the way that they both highlight these challenges that we're facing right now, not just in the distant future, but really in this corner.
Right. Yeah. It's not just about flying cars, right?
Yeah.
It's about, like, technology is impacting you.
Right.
Like right now.
Yeah, your choices.
Your choices, yeah.
For freedom and even...
Like what it means to be human.
Exactly.
So are you ready to have your mind blown?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's dive in. So Harari suggests that algorithms might know us better than we know ourselves. Now, I scroll through social media, but does that mean that an algorithm's got my number?
Well, think about a time that you've seen a product recommendation online that felt eerily accurate, right?
Oh, yeah.
Something that you've been thinking about maybe, but you haven't actually searched for.
Right.
That's algorithms predicting our behavior, influencing our choices. And that's sort of Harari's point, is that the more we rely on these algorithms, the less we're actually exercising our own judgment.
So convenience comes at a cost. Like, I love it when my music streaming app, like, discovers a new artist for me.
Right.
But is that, like, shaping my taste more than I realize?
That's exactly it. It's if we're not aware of how these algorithms work, we really risk surrendering our autonomy. Right? Imagine relying on an algorithm to choose a career for you or even your romantic partner.
Oh, God.
Suddenly, the future feels a lot less like free will and a lot more like predetermined code.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like we're handing over the steering wheel of our lives.
Yeah.
So speaking of the future, Harari and Sandoval, they both stress that we need to prepare future generations for this world that we're creating.
Absolutely. And it's not just about teaching them coding skills, it's about digital ethics.
Yes.
It's about teaching young people to question the information that they see online.
Right.
Understanding how their data is being used.
Yeah.
And even recognizing when they're being manipulated.
Yeah.
These are essential life skills in the digital age.
So we need to raise a generation of healthy skeptics.
Right.
Not afraid of technology, but able to use it thoughtfully.
Think of it like this. In the past, we taught kids to look both ways before crossing the street.
Right.
Now we need to teach them to think critically before clicking that link.
I love that.
Right? It's about empowering them to navigate this world safely and responsibly.
But it's not just about the individual right.
Right.
The conversation also zooms out to, like, the global scale.
Yeah, the big picture.
The climate crisis. Honestly, sometimes it feels like too big a problem to tackle.
It's understandable to feel that way.
Yeah.
But Harari and Sandoval, they both argue that technology alone won't save us. We need a change in mindset.
Okay.
And we need to move from this mindset of endless growth and consumption to a more sustainable way of living.
So no matter how many electric cars or solar panels we have, if we keep consuming at the same rate,
it's not going to be enough.
It's not enough.
It's like trying to patch a leaking boat without slowing down the leak.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Now, all this talk about algorithms and climate change, it paints a pretty intense picture of the future.
It does.
Makes you wonder if we're headed towards some kind of dystopia.
And that's where this concept of dehumanization comes in.
Yeah.
And it's a major concern for both Harari and Sandoval.
Okay.
Imagine a world where technology is so advanced that we start optimizing ourselves for efficiency, maybe even editing our emotions.
Yeah.
What happens to our compassion, our spontaneity, those messy but beautiful parts of being human?
Right. It's like we become robots, even if we still look human.
Right.
We might be super efficient, but at what cost?
Exactly.
Do we lose the things that make life meaningful?
Yeah, and that's what both thinkers are warning against.
Right.
They see the potential for technology to erode our humanity if we're not careful.
Right.
And Sandoval in particular, he emphasizes the need to retain our connection to our values, our traditions, and our understanding of what it truly means to live a good life, even as technology continues to advance at this breakneck pace.
So it's not just about surviving the future.
No.
It's about thriving in a way that preserves what makes us human.
Exactly.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
We're ready to move on to the next section.
I think so, yeah. Let's delve into some of these solutions and possibilities that Harari and Sandoval propose.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've been kind of focusing on some of the challenges, but both Harari and Sandoval offer some potential paths forward. And one key theme that emerges is this idea of finding purpose
Oh, interesting.
in a world that's increasingly shaped by technology.
Okay. Yeah, we hear a lot about robots taking our jobs.
Yeah.
But what happens if technology makes work as we know it
Right.
obsolete?
Right.
What gives our lives meaning then?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Harari worries that instead of embracing this potential freedom,
Right.
we're just going to fill the void with
Yeah.
endless digital distractions,
Right.
Endlessly scrolling, gaming, consuming content. But
Yeah.
Sandoval sees an opportunity here. He sees a chance to really redefine purpose.
So instead of our lives revolving around work,
Right.
we could focus on things like
Exactivity.
your community building or even exploring our own inner world.
Yeah.
It's almost like a renaissance of the human spirit,
Right.
freed from the grind.
Exactly. Sandoval argues that we need to start envisioning what a fulfilling life looks like. Yeah.
Beyond these traditional work structures.
Right.
Maybe it's about contributing to your community or pursuing artistic passions or reconnecting with nature.
It almost sounds utopian,
Yeah,
but it makes you think, what if technology could actually free us
right.
to become more human, not less?
That's the hopeful vision.
Yeah.
And it's tied to another crucial theme in the conversation, this idea of ethical responsibility.
Right. We can't just let technology run wild.
That's right.
We need to steer it in a direction that benefits humanity,
Yeah,
not just a select few.
right.
How do we do that? I mean, it feels like such a massive task.
Well, Sandoval stresses that ethical responsibility really starts with individual choices.
Okay.
Every time we interact with technology, we're making a decision.
Right.
Are we using it mindfully or are we letting it control us?
Yeah.
Are we considering the broader impact of our choices?
So it's like a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Our individual actions, even seemingly small ones,
Can contribute to a more ethical tech landscape.
exactly. Imagine choosing a social media platform
Right.
that prioritizes user privacy over profit,
Yeah.
or supporting companies that are developing technology that promotes sustainability.
Yeah.
These choices matter.
And what about the role of education in all of this? We talked about digital ethics for kids, but what about adults who
Right.
are already grappling with all of these changes?
Right. Lifelong learning becomes essential in this rapidly changing environment.
Yeah.
We need to stay informed about emerging technologies, understand their potential impact,
Right.
and really engage in conversations about ethical development.
Yeah.
And this isn't just for tech experts.
Yeah.
This is for everyone.
So we need to stay curious,
Yeah.
keep asking questions, and be willing to adapt
Exactly.
as the world changes.
Yeah,
Kind of like what we're doing right now in this deep dive.
that's it. Exactly. Engaging with these ideas is a crucial first step
Right.
towards building the future that we want. Before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more point that I think is really crucial here.
Okay.
The idea of global collaboration.
Okay. This is where it gets even bigger.
Yeah.
So we've talked about like individuals,
Yeah.
communities, even nations. But how do we address these challenges
Right.
on a planetary scale?
Well, both Harari and Sandoval emphasize that these aren't just national issues.
Right.
These require global solutions. The climate crisis, for example,
Right.
requires international cooperation
Yeah.
to reduce emissions
Yeah.
and transition to sustainable energy.
So it's about recognizing our interconnectedness.
Yes.
We're all in this together, no matter where we live or what our background is.
Exactly.
But how do we even begin to bridge those divides?
Well, that's where dialogue and understanding becomes so important.
Yeah.
Sandoval really highlights the need
Yeah.
for cross-cultural communication
Right.
and collaboration. We need to listen to diverse perspectives, find common ground. Right.
And work together to create a future that benefits all of humanity.
It sounds daunting, but also incredibly inspiring.
Yeah.
It's like we're at a crossroads in history, and we have the power to choose a better path.
That's the message that I take away from this conversation. We have the knowledge, the tools, and the potential to create a future where technology empowers us,
Yeah?
not diminishes us,
Yeah.
but it requires us to act with intention, compassion, and a deep sense of responsibility for ourselves, for each other, and for the planet.
Wow, that's powerful. So where do we go from here? What are some concrete steps we can take to make sure technology enhances our lives without compromising our humanity?
Let's explore some practical strategies and resources that can empower you to navigate this complex landscape and contribute to a more ethical and hopeful future.
So we've talked about all these big challenges.
Right.
We've kind of looked at like the hopeful possibilities, but let's get practical. Like, what can we actually do?
Yeah. Starting today
Yeah.
to make sure that technology is actually serving humanity.
Well, I think one really powerful step is just cultivating awareness.
Okay.
Just pay attention to how you're interacting with technology.
Yeah.
Are you scrolling mindlessly?
Right.
Or are you actually using these apps intentionally? Do you know how your data is being used?
Right.
Just start asking those questions.
It's like that saying, we shape our tools and then our tools shape us.
Exactly.
We need to be mindful of that feedback loop.
Yes, set boundaries. Maybe designate certain times or spaces as tech-free zones, Yeah. Take a walk in nature, have a face-to-face conversation.
Right.
It's about finding balance.
I am definitely guilty of spending way too much time online.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start a digital detox day once a week.
Even small changes can make a difference.
Yeah.
Another step is really supporting ethical tech.
Okay.
Do some research about the companies behind the products you use.
Right.
Are they prioritizing user privacy?
Right.
Sustainability?
Yeah.
Vote with your wallet, so to speak.
So we have more power than we realize.
Yeah.
It's not just about being passive consumers, but actively shaping the tech landscape.
Absolutely.
What about this idea of finding purpose beyond work?
Yeah.
Any practical advice there?
Start exploring. What are you passionate about?
Okay.
What skills do you have or want to develop? Maybe it's volunteering or creative writing,
Right.
learning a new language. The possibilities are really endless.
It's almost like technology gives us this freedom to reinvent ourselves. Instead of being defined by our jobs, we can pursue what truly lights us up.
And remember, community is key.
Yeah.
Connect with like-minded people online or in person.
Right.
Share ideas, support each other.
Right.
We're not alone in navigating these changes.
It's like we're all pioneers in this uncharted territory of the future.
Yeah.
But we can learn from each other and build a better world together.
That's the spirit. And don't underestimate the power of conversation. Talk to your friends, your family, your colleagues about these issues.
Right.
The more we raise awareness and engage in these thoughtful dialogues, the more we can actually shape a future that benefits everyone.
So to sum up, be mindful of your tech use, support ethical companies, explore your passions, connect with your community, and keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
Those are some actionable steps we can all take.
Absolutely. And remember, this isn't about fear or pessimism.
Right.
It's about recognizing the immense power of technology and using it wisely to create a future where humanity actually thrives.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the future of humanity.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been an insightful and inspiring journey.
The pleasure was all mine. Keep asking those big questions.
Yeah.
And remember, you have the power to shape the future.
That's it for this episode. Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and stay human.